biggest fear is, as Black Americans are delineating, and America as a country is doing the same thing. They're coming after us. Donald Trump got elected. Immigrants are scared.
Tariq Nasheed recently has jumped on to TikTok, and it's been a lot more conversation on there than on Twitter or X. And the reason why, it's a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of different personalities. But there is a situation that came about with him and a Somali migrant. It was a really, really good discussion, and I wanted to share that with you. And this Somali migrant is afraid, or he is threatened by the delineation of hashtag FBA, also known as Black Americans, also known as ADOS, the original African Americans, Negro, all of that. But I want you to hear what he has to say.
The biggest fear is, as Black Americans are delineating, and America as a country is doing the same thing. They're coming after us. Donald Trump got elected. Immigrants are scared. So now Black Americans are doing their own thing. At the time, we're hoping that they would be standing up for us, being part of our coalition. But
yeah, and that's the problem.
Okay, so this is important, right? He's afraid of the Black American delineation, which is very, very interesting because he's talking about this. I'm very afraid about this. We thought that Black Americans would be standing up for us. This is important to know. Now, a lot of the immigrant groups from Africa, the Caribbean, but a lot of these guys come over and they're just kind of used to somebody standing up for them. But the problem is they don't understand this idea of reciprocity. Reciprocity works just like a bank account. You can only pull out what you give in. Now, if you don't invest into people, you don't get anything back. And it's interesting because this young lady said the same thing.
Somalians be tight-knit with their own people down to the point that, like, in the African community, if you see Somalians, Eritreans, or Ethiopians around, I'm telling you right now, they're not near their own kind. Their own kind do not with them because they're not like their kind. Like, I don't know, y'all be very quiet about the crucifixion of your own kind liking other people. Y'all act like I swear to God. Can y'all please leave our Black American people alone, please? Asking people for what? Y'all taking money, y'all sending money to the terrorist people down there. People need to understand that America is the only place where we can all come together and still be segregated. You want man for themselves, y'all better go help your own self out with your own community.
Now again, this lady is a Liberian American and she's calling it like it is because you rarely see Somalis and Black Americans working together or hanging around each other. Most Somalis that do hang around Black Americans or Eritreans or Ethiopians are kind of like outcasts of their community. And that's interesting because one of my buddies that I talk to, when I meet him here in Uganda and Kenya, he's just like completely different. He's from like Australia. He drinks rum and shit. I mean, he's Somali, but he's just like, he might as well be from Compton or something like that. Like, that's how he is. He's completely different from like his community in the most sense, right? So he is more or less feels more comfortable around hanging Black Americans. You always get somebody like that in the white community. You always get that one Hispanic, and you always get one or two like that, whether they're Arab or, or Egyptian or whatever, or Somalis. But again, this is what happens. You don't have any investment into anybody. And then when you need something or a favor, well, you've been so locked away over there by yourself. Now you need some help. Let's get back into the video.
That's the problem.
we don't know what to do now.
Yeah, because we told people, they kept telling us, well, you FBS don't work hard. You don't work. We came over with $2 and we were this, and y'all need to learn from us. It got real bad. And people got very arrogant, and even Jamaicans, they still do it. They still tell us, oh, don't come to Jamaica. Oh, don't do this. You are entitled. And y'all were telling us all of this stuff about how hard you work and how lazy we were. And we said, okay, well, handle your business then.
Right.
And now people don't like it.
And can I say something? Do you know, I think that's why a lot of immigrants are running for office. There's a lot of Somalis in Minnesota, the New York mayor, because I think they're scared now since that, the current political system in America, and maybe Black Americans are not as supportive anymore.
So this is Somali guy admitting that at a certain time, Black Americans were supportive, but they're not supportive anymore. And Tariq is giving him some, examples of things that may have turned off the black community. But this guy is saying this is why Somalis want power, because they understand that if they don't have power, they don't really have that support system at all. Okay. And that's one thing to understand. But let's continue.
So they feel like they have to fight for themselves. They have to have a presence, or else it's over for immigrants here.
Yeah, and that ain't working because they ain't getting elected. A lot of them are not getting elected like that. It's like Winston Sears, like your boy out there in Minnesota, Fatah, whatever his name is. Yeah. He got washed, so it ain't really working out like they wanted to work out. So, hey man, it's cats should have really checked themselves with the disrespect.
So this is a good conversation between Tariq and the Somali community. I think all of our conversations can be like this, okay? But what the next part is really interesting.
So how about we have a restart, man? Black Americans and black immigrants, we forget everything in the past. We
can't do that.
We start a new contract.
Y'all might can do that,
the disputes
but
and all this stuff
in
the past, and just have a fresh start. Respect each other, respect each other's cultures, work together where we can work together. Let's try to work on that. I'm ready for that.
So now he's saying, listen, how about we all come together and work together and start over?
Go work.
Obviously, you have had no interest in black Americans before, but now you're saying this. But see, here's the problem with other immigrants, and this is why, like in the diaspora, we have to work hard to become valuable to each other. So many people are in the African diaspora, whether it's Somali migrants or you have Kenyans in the diaspora, Ugandans in the diaspora, black Americans in the diaspora. When you want to work with other people, you have to sometimes have an olive branch of things you do for people that you're needed. You need to be able to support others. But this is the issue right now with the Somali community.
In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year.
So that was the governor, Tim Walz. The governor, Tim Walz, basically has been under so much heat and so much scrutiny because of the situation with the fraud, the tax care fraud, the Somali fraud, and all of this. So what has happened? Tim Walz, who was just recently running for president as vice president with Kamala Harris,
so he
has
gonna
seen
stay.
his political career be destroyed in almost 2 years. And so if it's too expensive for Tim Walz to work with you, it's too expensive for anybody else to work with you, right? And that's the problem when you want to come to the table and say, well, what about giving it a shot? No, like people rarely forget. And I don't understand this guy. He's a Somali guy.
Well, you got the thing is that it's already set in stone with the way it is. It's gonna take generations, at least one, for it to be a shift in the right direction. If you want that to change, it ain't just gonna change overnight. You know what I'm saying? What's done is done.
And let's just forget everything. Well, if his
so Tim Walz was about to run for president, or is he stepping down from governor as well?
Treated by black Americans, they would never forgive it, right? They would never forgive that. They would never just let bygones be bygones. And so people understand why you want to work with them, and it's not genuine. The reality with the Somali community is that if you deal with them, you basically are taking in the problems that they want to either be accountable for or not accountable for.
Yeah.
And so you're going to stand in the fire with them. And the reality is they would not stand in the fire with you. So it costs too much to work with them. It costs too much to
They start running for president, governor, what this, that, and that. They're going to do what's best for them.
Collaborate with them. it costs too much to go into a partnership with them because of all of the shit that certain pockets of groups got going on in Maine. They got too much going on in Ohio, too much going on in Minnesota. So there's nothing to gain there with that relationship. And that's the problem right now at the Somali community and other blacks, other groups who are kind of standoffish to themselves. You put yourself in a situation where people say, okay, well, you're used to being over there by yourself. Stay over there by yourself. This is the problem with certain pockets of Pan-Africanism and why it can't work. Nobody should look at your group and say you're too expensive to deal with. Somebody should look at your group and say they're too expensive not to deal with, right? Like how he's talking about with Black Americans. He freely admits that we get something by being associated with Black Americans, even if we give nothing. It's too expensive to not work with you for whatever reason that is. And so the Somali community and these other communities have to look at themselves. Listen, we got to be too expensive not to deal with, because it's easy to write you off when you don't have no investment in anything anyway. So then Tariq answers this response with this.
Well, the thing is, man, it's going to have to start back in the homeland. It has to start there, because a lot of people bring over the same tribalistic disposition that they had over there. They bring it over here, and they look at us as just another tribal group. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to work. We've been upholding global Black unity, and we've been pretty much doing it by our damn selves.
Right.
So it's time for these other groups to start standing on business over in the homeland, making sure some of that tribal nonsense has stopped. And then people can come to the table and say, hey, let's get out and, let's break bread.
It's an excellent response. Because I don't know how many times when I was in Poland and Europe, when I first started getting into the issues that certain Zimbabwean tribes had, you would see certain fights between, certain groups, even in Poland. And that came directly from the homeland. And so what happens with a lot of Africans as groups, I mean, obviously you meet awesome individuals, but people carry whatever good they know from their home countries to the diaspora or to America, and whatever bad they have. Most people are not in a mental state or ability want to collaborate with anybody, or add value to another group. Most people come to another country because you're trying to do very well. You're trying to establish yourself and build up your own homeland, but you can't really work with other people outside of your group. And so when you need to call in a favor, you can't, because you already have some level of tribalism. You already looking at it as us against them. A lot of people are looking to take what they can get and not really give to somebody else. Of course, you have, nice Africans and beautiful Africans anywhere in the world. But the problem is you're in no position to collaborate. And many people are not in any position to collaborate in Pan-Africanism. Most people are not. Most people in the continent are not. Most people in the diaspora are not. And so when you come with this suggestion, let's start over, his own community has problems. Right there in Minneapolis, there were a group of Somalis that supported Jacob Frey, I believe, or Fry. And then you had Somalis who were against Omar Fateh. And that's how Jacob Fry won the mayor race in Minneapolis a few months ago. So if you can't get things together with your own people, you are useless for the most part for anybody else. And so we understand that. Most people got to understand that. In Pan-Africanism or in Black unity, people who cannot support themselves and add value to their own group will have a problem doing it with someone else. And so you kind of live by the gun, you're kind of dying by the gun. So if you kind of cut yourself off from everybody else, you do what's best for your community and your group, you only care about yourself. Then when the heat gets on you, you can't come back and say, hey man, we want to work with you. Let's bygones be bygones. Well, we didn't see for 30 years in the country how you really operate, especially when you think things are going well. Now things are not going well. You're asking for this collaboration, which nobody can touch that now because you're just too hot. This has got to teach us something in this whole Black unity, this whole Black situation that we got going on here in America, around the Black world. We have to bring value to each other. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim. I don't care if you're Somali, Black American, Kenyan, Ugandan. Bring value to each other. You're gonna need people, right? If you believe in the 2 degrees of separation ideology, then you must obviously believe that not everybody just in your community can get you where you need to go. You're gonna need help from different people. Me, myself, right? I'm in Uganda. Sometimes I'm in Kenya. And Black Americans have not helped me all the time and get into where I am in my career. It's been Ugandans helping me. It's been Kenyans helping me. It's been people from Ghana helping me. I have to try continuously to add value to people for me to get more, for me to increase my opportunities. There's been people from Black Britain have helped me. So we got to look at all of us as keys to the cogs. And if we were to do that, for example, the Somali community will be great to work with. The Black American community will be great to work with. The Nigerian community will be great to work with. But when you don't have a lack of trust, or when you have a lack of trust in these communities,
I'd honestly say us in America, Black America needs to do that as well, though, with each other. You know,
that becomes problematic. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shady Jackson back at it again with another episode.
Yeah, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. See why Peter 9.